Do you have a dream car? Mine is the Lucid Air. Are you intrigued by electric vehicles? The Lucid Air EV has been called the best driving car in the world. And the Lucid Air Sapphire is certifiably the fastest production car in the world. Listen to Lucid Driver Podcast wherever you listen to podcasts or at luciddriver.buzzsprout.com.
Welcome to the Joy of Cruising podcast with your host, award-winning author Paul C. Thornton, a weekly conversation with the amazing cruisers featured in the Joy of Cruising books, comprised of The Joy of Cruising, Cruising Interrupted, new release, The Joy of Cruising Again, as well as other fun, informative global cruise personalities. It's the next best thing to cruising, hearing about cruising from the unique and diverse perspectives of Paul's amazing guests. If you hear about a cruise that interests you, book it at www.thejoyofacation.com or enter to win a free cruise for two. Again, www.thejoyofacation.com. We really appreciate your feedback, so leave us a text. Paul can't reply, but he may read your text on the air.
Hello, passionate cruisers. This is Paul. And this week on the Joy of Cruising podcast, I am delighted to welcome back Colin Stewart. Colin was a guest along with another future cruise director, Nick Jackson, when I featured the new brand Cruise with Colin and Nick, episode 88. I featured Nick in my latest book, The Joy of Cruising Again, and when interviewing Nick for The Joy of Cruising Again, he mentioned that he and another aspiring cruise director, Colin, were partnering to launch Cruise with Colin and Nick, a YouTube channel that chronicles their journey toward a mutual goal. Colin just told me, I've been taking the initiative of doing my travel content and really focusing on high-quality videos. I took 5 total cruises in the last 45 days of the year. I went on Royal Caribbean as a partner for my first time. Additionally, this was my first cruise with them. I am planning to go get my Seafarer's Watch training certificate in Fort Lauderdale, along with my small motorboat certification and ENG2, which allows me to work on yachts as a deckhand. I'm focusing on getting my certifications so I'm able to start to work on cruise ships. I'm still living out of Arizona. I think Colin just moved. And I'm taking a break in my education to go chase my dreams of what I've been wanting to do since I was 12. I plan to continue school online after this year when I get my certifications. Today, I want to check in with Colin regarding his progress towards his goal and in general to catch up on what's been going on in the 2 years since we last spoke. Welcome, Colin, to the Joy of Cruising podcast.
Hey, Paul, how we doing, guys?
So how you doing?
I'm doing blessed. I got 2 legs. I'm running every single day of my life these days. I'm preparing for a half marathon currently, and it's a blessed day to be alive. That's all I always have to say.
Yeah, well, same here. Although I'm not training for a half marathon.
Yeah, I decided about 2 weeks ago, so been excited for that.
Yeah, I run to the mailbox each day.
Mailbox, there you go. That's far enough.
So before we talk about what's been happening with you, Colin, tell our listeners about yourself in general, where you're from, where you live, background, anything you would like to share.
Of course. So my name's Colin Stewart. I'm 21 years old. I am from the cold state of Minnesota. I just moved back actually about a week ago, and for the last 3 years I've been living out in Arizona, out in Phoenix, going to Grand Canyon University. I've been pursuing my business management with hospitality degree in efforts to become a cruise director and prepare myself with the adequate skills and everything I need to know for that. And I'm someone who just loves cruising. I love showing people the world, especially one of my passions is videoing and documenting experiences, because I know some people aren't as fortunate to do what I do in life. And I want to be able to show those people the experiences that I get to see so they feel included in those experiences.
Two questions. Now, with Grand Canyon, you're gonna continue online, or you're gonna transfer totally?
So I'm continuing online. So I plan to do about two classes a semester. I'm currently a junior, so it'll take me about 2 years to get my degree if I'm doing two classes at a time because I'm going to take two summer classes as well. So and then with that, I'm going to be doing some training on some down in Fort Lauderdale, which I know we'll get into later.
Good, good. So get that degree, man.
Yes, sir.
Tell us, when did you set your mind on becoming a cruise director, and what motivated that?
Yeah, so I took my very first cruise on the Sunshine. I won't get into that too much because I know we're previewing that later as well. But uh, just for whatever reason, there's this guy named Chris. His stage name is Donkey, Chris Hauser. A lot of you may know him. He is a fleet cruise director for Carnival. But he's just a phenomenal person, upbeat energy, and he was always just making people smile and just he created a lot of memories out of my first cruise ever. And ever since then, I've been attached to that idea of traveling while saving money, because obviously you get your expenses paid for on cruises. And they always say when I'm young, invest, invest, invest when you're on cruises. And that gives me a really good opportunity to and sets me up for a good span in life. And I just like making memorable experiences for people and being relatable to people, making people laugh, smile, have a great time. Because ultimately, a lot of families don't get to go on cruises and get to go on vacation all the time.
Hmm.
So I want to be able to give them the best service ever because you never know what's going on in people's lives with families. Families, they're complicated. And sometimes all they need is a vacation just to be able to let loose and be able to see what life's really about. And I'm just passionate about showing people a great time.
Now, talk about your progress towards that goal. We got some hints in the introduction.
Yeah, so currently I'm gonna be enrolling in it's a week-long class depending on what certifications you get. But so far I want to get my ENG2, which it allows me on yachts as a deckhand. And then I plan to get a small or medium-sized motor certification
Let me
down in
let,
Fort.
let me jump in, Colin.
Yes, sir.
ENG2, that's some kind of certification.
Yes, sir. So it makes sure that you're fit for working at sea, and it also prepares you for fighting fires at sea, and it also prepares you for working on maintenance such as engines. Because when you're a deckhand, if you're a deckhand on a yacht, for instance, which is what I'm hoping to go into for a few years, while doing cruising as well in the off season when I'm not on cruise ships, um, it gives you a good leverage of. It helps you move up faster, and it helps you with experiences and the skills that you're going to need on board.
Maybe you checked it out, but I have a good episode for you to check out. I guess offline, I gotta tell you what episode it was exactly, but it was a guy who it really kind of was a twofold episode. First of all, you've heard of the show Below Deck, right?
Yes.
So
I know quite a few people from the show, actually.
okay, well, you might know this guy because he joined the cast this year. Um, and uh, uh, so part of the reason I had him on the show was because he was a television star. Okay, uh, but the other aspect of why he was on the show is so he actually uh, uh, provides an online academy for people who want to work on yachts. And he's got a lot of people signed up around the country, and it prepares you to sail on yachts. It was a great show. I'll give you the details offline
Most definitely.
because as I said, right now I can't remember the episode or the exact title, but I just know that part of the title is star of Below Deck, and then creator owner of this academy, and I'll look it up. What?
I'm definitely going to take a look at that.
Yeah, wasn't that long ago? But anyway, okay, good. And then you said you mentioned something else in the motor. What was the motor certification?
Yeah, so I want to get a small to medium-sized motorboat certification. I don't remember what the exact analogy is for it or the acronym synonyms, the letters for it, but it basically allows me to drive small tender yachts or medium-sized tender yachts from the yacht to shore or wherever we may be taking the passengers.
So it sounds like you're doing all the right things.
Yes, sir.
Um, so what else is new in the 10, I was going to say the 10 years, in the 2 years we last spoke, other than cruises, which we'll talk about in a minute?
Yeah, so I would say we're talking about just normal life besides cruising, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So I would say I've been getting into the gym a lot recently. In the last 2 years, especially in the last about 30, 60 days, I'm trying to really focus on my mental health and my physical health and take care of my body because as you know, our bodies are our temples and we should be taking care of them. And I want to make sure that I'm a healthy guy, healthy, good-looking cruise director guy, because what's better than that? But and I've just been hanging out with friends a lot recently. And tonight I'm actually going to Morgan Wallen down tonight at in Minneapolis. So I'm really excited for that. I've been going to a lot of concerts recently, a lot of sporting events. Little fun fact about me, I'm a very big Minnesota sports fan. It has its cons though.
Yeah, it definitely can be a challenge to be a Minnesota fan,
Oh, they should be
especially
paying us to watch the games.
especially right now, football. But this year is going to be interesting for Minnesota. But let's talk about cruising. First, Colin, let's go back to the beginning. I always do this with guests, just to give listeners, there are some listeners who are potential cruisers. They haven't cruised yet, uh, and I always like to give them a taste of what a first cruise is like. And for most of the guests I've had, uh, they had a wonderful first cruise, but not all of them. Uh, so tell us about your first cruise. When, what ship, and what were your impressions?
So I went on the Carnival Sunshine I actually have a tattoo of it for when I'm becoming a cruise director. I guess this is new within 2 years as well. March 3rd, or sorry, March 13th, 2016 was my first cruise on the Carnival Sunshine. I believe it was a 5-day cruise I think we went to Nassau and then we went to their private island, not their new one, obviously, but it's their Half Moon Key, however you like to pronounce it. And I remember my first time getting on that ship, I remember thinking, this thing is absolutely massive. Keep in mind, this was in 2016 when Oasis of the Seas and stuff were around. I didn't know about any of that stuff at this time. So
Sure.
I thought a Carnival Sunshine ship built in, I think it was 98 because it used to be Destiny, or 96. At one point, it was considered the largest cruise ship in the world. And my little short 12-year-old smile, I thought it was the coolest thing ever. But I can tell you, when I was getting on that gangway, I thought I was not going to make it back home. I thought that ship was going to sink. But luckily it didn't, obviously. And however many cruises I've taken, I'm still here now. And I feel like that's a lot of worries with first-time travelers is the ship going down. I'll I'll give you my life insurance if that happens, I guess. But but that so I remember getting over that first hump, and then I remember just stepping on the ship, and it's just everything you can imagine you want for a vacation is there. Your entertainment, your food. Well, for me, I guess the lemonade at that time, the ice cream cones, comedy shows, pools, hot tubs, like you name it, a cruise ship has it. Especially these days on the mega ships, they have everything from ice skating rinks to they have roller coasters on cruise ships now. But I just remember that first cruise being such an amazing experience where you know this, Paul, you get addicted to cruising after that first cruise just because of how seamless it all is. And at the end of the day, I think cruising is one of the more affordable options, especially for families, larger families as well. And it's just been that first cruise was just one of the most magical things I remember. And from that point on, I've been hooked and I have never looked back ever.
Fun fact about the Sunshine. Now, uh, uh, your goal, correct me if I'm wrong, I know your goal is to become a cruise director, but your focus is Carnival, or is not necessarily.
So This is that's been a new subject actually for me recently. I for a while I was sticking with strictly Carnival, but since then, I know we'll get more into it. I've gone on MSC cruises, I've gone on Royal cruises now, and I've expanded my genre a little bit of cruising.
Okay.
Carnival, I would still love to work for because they really let you show your personality and they let you just shine through that you shine through it, and it's something that I've been used to, that I've seen. I know the inner workings, I'd say, more than the average person. So that kind of helps me going into a company like that. Obviously, I don't know everything, but going in knowing a few things is always nice. But I have been open to trying different cruise lines. I have applied to a few recently. I just haven't heard back yet. Because lots of times those applications can take 3 to 5 months, and I submitted them about a month ago. So I'm not expecting anything anytime soon yet for activity host role. But Carnival is one that I would love to work for one day, and it would be an absolute honor to work for them. And even working for any cruise line that would be willing to have me and take a chance on me would be a privilege.
Well, so here's the fun fact about Sunshine. I have had on the podcast the guy who built Sunshine. Uh, and the
Oh,
reason that I asked you, are you still focused on Carnival? Well, his whole podcast would be of interest to you because he built all the Carnival ships up until 2011. No, 11,
six.
yeah.
Was it
And
11?
then he and
What's
then
his name? Because I know
and
exactly
then
who
he
you're talking
moved
about.
to during that time he was also building some ships for what's this, Costa, yeah.
Costa.
But between 11 and 2014, when he retired, he did exclusively Costa ships. But from the beginning, 76, 77, whatever, till 2011, his name, I'm sorry, you had asked his name. His name is Joe Farkas. So, so if
Yep.
you listen to that episode, that will help you just in terms of getting a lot of history of Carnival. But
Yeah.
but uh anyway, he's retired now. But yeah, I'm glad that you are kind of broadening your horizons in terms of, I mean, I know that that's probably Carnival's probably still your first choice, but it's good that you are broadening your horizons. So now you're 21. Are you old enough now to work on ships?
Yeah, I am actually now. So the first dilemma, I think I might have brought this up in our first podcast, is originally when I was 18, the rule used to be 18 to be on cruise ships. I see why they don't do that anymore because I can tell you I've matured tremendously from 18 in senior in high school all the way to now, 3 years, like 3, 4 years later. I can tell you I'm glad that I didn't because I think I would have been inadequately prepared and it would have been too early for me. So they did end up increasing the age to 21. And when they did that, I ultimately made the decision, okay, I'll go to college. Because before that, I was going to say, all right, screw it. We're just going to head for the ships. But I always say, I think you're a believer, Paul. I always say God has a plan and God has a story written out. And I know that it's all part of the plan, and I can now apply on cruise ships. It's just I haven't heard back yet, which is a little disappointing, but I know they're coming, and I know it's only a matter of time. And I'm just trying to get some more on mic experience currently because I feel like that's really all I have to fill in on my resume to be able to obtain that activity host role.
One more piece of advice or one more suggestion for you. Another person who's been on the show, check out on YouTube, check out a channel, you might be familiar with it already, a channel uh, called Lucy Cruising as Crew. Or it might just be called Cruising as Crew, but her name is Lucy. And and again, I'm not trying to, push past episodes, but she hasn't been on the podcast. But she is like the person that when magazines
I have
and
one.
television shows, mostly online magazines and all that, some newspapers, when they need like a quote or a feature about what crew members don't like about passengers or what crew, about anything cruise life on ships, uh, they come to Lucy, and I think you can like reach out to her on a YouTube channel with things like advice, as far as getting a job. Uh, last the last she was working for ships, she was actually working in a role where you recruited. I don't know that she works anymore, but she would have a lot of insight for you. So check out Lucy.
I have seen some of her videos, but I will most definitely reach out to her too. I just looked her up and I instantly recognized her videos and her thumbnails, and she's made from the videos I have watched out of her, which have been a few of them. She makes phenomenal videos.
So how soon after your first cruise did you cruise again?
One in 2017, I believe. It was either 2017 or 2018. So I took one within the year. So up until probably about 2 to 3 years ago, probably up until about 4 years ago, we took a cruise about once a year, and now it's way more frequently. But back then, it used to be about every year we took a cruise ever since
What
2016.
was your most recent cruise?
Most recent cruise was Carnival Celebration, December 28th to December 5th. We went to St. Thomas, or we went out of Miami. We went out to St. Thomas. We went out to Dominican Republic. We went out to Amber Cove, I think it was. And then we went to Celebration Key. And then I believe we didn't go to Nassau. We stopped one other place, I believe, but I've been to so many places now. I can't even remember where they all are anymore.
Well, that's a great ship. I've been on its sister ship, the Mardi Gras.
Yep.
But yeah, Celebration. That whole carnival, what's it, XL class?
Yes, sir.
That's really, really nice. Did you go on a roller coaster?
Many times.
Many
Many
times.
times.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
got I got a few great pictures and videos from it from one of my friends, Erin. She's actually the fleet cruise director, so if she's ever listening to this, shout out to you because you're awesome. Thank you for that again.
She's the cruise director for Celebration, or you said
She's the fleet cruise director. She's one of the four fleet cruise directors for Carnival. Erin Wingard. She actually was just on the Fox. She was on the floor actually, the new show that just came out.
well, you know her, so tell her about the podcast. I'd love to host her.
I will. I'll let her know.
Um, okay, so you just got off the Celebration. Now you mentioned in the intro, you went on 5 cruises towards the end of 25. Talk about them.
Yeah, so I went. They're all from November to about mid-January, end of or beginning of January. I went.
Wow, so really towards at the end. I mean, that's concentrated.
So I counted it up. I was in Phoenix, I believe, for it was like 14 to 16 days between November and January, which also I did go home between one of them to Minnesota for Christmas. But we went on it was mainly Carnival and then Royal Caribbean, which was my first ever Royal Caribbean cruise. Um,
Oh, what's
it
up?
was on Wonder of the Seas. It was a 4 day cruise. And we were actually the first ever guests to step onto Royal Caribbean's new Royal Beach Club out in Nassau, Bahamas. So they
Oh,
brought out,
wow.
I believe it was about 100 influencers, and we basically filmed content for them and captured it and captured the new experience and posted online for them. And for having that be my first Royal cruise, that was an experience for sure because I always did say I always wanted to try out Royal, but I just didn't want to pay that price tag yet until I actually experienced it. And I got the opportunity to experience it where I didn't have to pay for anything. I'm really fortunate for that to be in that position. And it was an amazing experience. We had parties every single night for the creators. We had cocktail hour. We had the nice part was we got to film like a lot of the attractions on board with nobody in them, so videos were wide open and stuff. And it was just a great experience overall. And I would 100% go on Royal Caribbean again. And I would say out of the 5 cruises I did take, That was definitely my favorite. The
Oh,
other ones
wow.
I went on Celebration, Conquest twice, and then Wonder, and then what was the other ship I went on?
You mentioned, didn't you mention MSC?
MSC. I went on MSC October of last year.
Oh, okay.
Of 2024 calendar year. Which going on MSC, I will say, I'll compare like we'll give the viewers a rundown real quick. I'll do Carnival, MSC, and Royal. Carnival, that's for your more family, upbeat cruisers. You're gonna find a lot of your Americans on board. MSC, it's really diverse. On MSC, I believe I heard probably I would say 15 different languages throughout the entire 7 day voyage. And they
What what ship?
I went on MSC Seaside.
Seaside.
Uh,
Okay.
I always forget between Seashore and Seascape. They all look the same. But
Now, now each of the MSC, I think the sea ship, Seaside, Seashore,
yeah.
whatever, have like an attraction, a crazy attraction. What's the one on the ship you went on?
Yeah, so they have a little arm robot attraction that like swings you around. I didn't personally do it. I think it was actually broken during when we went.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
they they break down a lot, but I will say their lobbies on MSC absolutely beautiful. Pizza, best pizza at sea. I do say they cater to Europeans a lot more, and they're learning to cater to the Americans, but they know how to do a cruise. They did get a lot of flash a while back when they first came to America, but they've leveled it up since, and I would 100% go on an MSC cruise again. My cousin's already taken his second MSC cruise on there, and he loved it.
Well, you got my agreement on the pizza.
Yes, sir.
Um,
And th-
go ahead. I'm sorry.
And then for Royal, I would say Royal is more of your relaxed vacation. More, it still has that upbeat feel, upbeat experience. But I feel like on Royal Caribbean, you're able to escape a little bit more of the thrill of Carnival or MSC over over being on some other cruise lines. And Royal, I I'm becoming a Royal guy, honestly. I do have to admit slightly. Royal, they do make a great product, great ships. And it was a privilege to go on them, honestly. It was an incredible experience I'm never gonna forget.
Distinguish between the cruise directors on the three lines, MSC, Carnival, and Royal.
So, MSC, I don't even think I met the cruise director. Cruise directors aren't as a big part of the experience on certain cruise lines.
Okay.
Royal Caribbean, I did meet the cruise director, I believe, twice when I was getting off the ship. I talked briefly to her. Um, won't mention her name or anything, but it's kind of a lukewarm feel. It didn't really feel like a leadership cruiser. It was a little, you can tell there's a big difference in between cruise lines of how cruise directors operate because on Carnival, they're very front and center. Like, if you don't see your cruise director on Carnival, they failed their job. Like, if you don't know who your cruise director is by the end of the cruise, even if it's a 3 day cruise, you as a cruise director failed your job. But then on Royal Caribbean, it's different as opposed to where they have so much more grand entertainment spaces. They don't introduce every single show such as the cruise director. The cruise director, they don't do as many announcements on there. They do morning shows instead where they host it and they video it and then they broadcast it out to the ship. So they aren't as more in depth. On Royal Caribbean, they have assistant cruise directors. Carnival, you don't have an assistant cruise director unless you're on an XL class ship such as Jubilee, um, Mardi Gras, and Celebration.
Okay. Okay.
But I will say, I've never been on a Carnival cruise and didn't know who the cruise director was. And I'll say, I think Carnival is the best cruise directors in my opinion, especially because I am great friends with some of them and they have mentored me so much and give me so much advice. And whenever I go on there, they they instantly make me feel like I'm at home and like I'm just like one of their best friends, which is like just the best feeling in the world. And it's all I could ever ask for, honestly.
Well, fortunately, hopefully, you know, if you get accepted at Carnival, it sounds like you already have some friends and connections. So,
Yes, sir. I hope to work. My dream is always to work under a cruise director that I've sailed under, or like a fun squad person that's moved up to cruise director since. That's always been my dream, is to be able to work under one of them. Because at the end of the day, I want to make them proud as well.
We'll be right back.
The Joy Vacation by Dream Vacations invites you to join us on a bucket list adventure to Africa. We're going to Kenya and Egypt for 14 days, April 10th through April 24th, 2027. A week in Kenya, including safaris, and a week in Egypt, including the pyramids and a 4-day Nile River cruise. This adventure includes air from the U.S., all transfers, all accommodations, private tours, and many meals. $5,000 to $5,500, depending on air, per person. Double occupancy. Only $250 per person deposit due at booking. The remainder is not due until late 2026. For a detailed itinerary, online brochure, and to book, email me at pthornton, Thornton, pthornton at dreamvacations.com. Let's talk about the future. What do you have booked, or at least hoping to book?
So right now, I don't have anything booked as of right now. I'm a very last minute guy. I get a lot of last minute cruise deals. The other day, I got a $200 Hawaii cruise, 2 weeks for $200 on Carnival. I think might have been Miracle. But I'm a very last minute guy. I'm hoping to go to Alaska this year. It's a very big goal of mine.
Mm-hmm.
I really want to capture some content for that. Um, I can't say anything about it yet, but it has to do with a new cruise ship sailing out of the Mediterranean, coming out June, July. If you know anything about cruise news, you can put two and two together in your head. I just can't say anything about it quite yet. So that's going to be a very exciting potential cruise. And I am possibly scheduling one with my friends on a 3 and 4 day out of LA. Just with some of my college friends, regroup with some of those guys. And I will say I'm wanting to go on another solo cruise because I did go on my first solo cruise in November on the Carnival Conquest, and I enjoyed it. I got out of my comfort zone and I had a blast. And it's something I would like to experience again. And especially Europe and Alaska are big on the list this summer.
Uh, Now you're young, and your bucket list will certainly evolve. But what's on your cruise and travel bucket list right now?
My goal, it's ambitious. My goal is to hit every single country before my time is done on this planet we call Earth. I want to hit every single country, and yes, that means every single country.
Okay. Any country more so than any other?
I really want to go out to Japan, or I really want to go out to South Korea, and I really wanted to go to I wanted to go to North Korea before, just because of how secluded it is, and we don't know much about it. Obviously, when you go there, everything's kind of a little played out, but it's just something that I've always been a big history guy, especially Germany's one too, because of like World War II. I've just been a big history guy always, and just I like going into the unknown kind of and just exploring it. And but yeah, and then another country to conquer would be London, United Kingdom area. Because I have been on a European cruise, but we just went to Portugal and Spain, and then we did go to Gibraltar, which is technically a part of the UK, but that's down by the Strait of Gibraltar. That's not the UK.
Yeah, I want to go to Japan and I want to go to South Korea, but North Korea is not going to happen in my lifetime. But in your lifetime, it's a possibility.
Yeah.
We'll never. I shouldn't say we'll never know. We'll know. I won't. but
Yeah, well, so they do issue tour visas for it where you go on a guided tour, obviously. It's like $3,500 to do. The only problem is first before I do it, I have to become a citizen of another country before I because they aren't accepting U.S. visitors currently, unfortunately.
Well, put that one way on the back burner.
I know, right?
How can listeners follow you on social media and the internet?
Yeah, so most of my social medias, typically they come up right away when you look up Colin Stewart, but my Instagram is Colin Stewart. That's one L, Colin, and then Stewart, Stewart, and then two underscores. And same with TikTok, and then my YouTube, which I'll be uploading to soon as well, which I'll be documenting my training and for my half marathon coming up in Chicago. Um, you can find that. It's the username is Travel Colin Stewart.
Okay. Uh, Colin, before we let you go, some fun cruise questions. Now, these will be different than when you were on before, uh, because you're now a repeat guest. So repeat guests get slightly different questions. But before I ask you the questions, let me give a special welcome to any friends and family members who are listening on behalf of Colin, so that your friends and family and my listeners can get to know you better. Let me ask a few questions I like to ask repeat guests. And by the way, Colin's friends and family, we hope you enjoyed what you heard today, and we'll come back for some other episodes. So, Colin, tell our listeners and your friends, how do you spend your me time? And we got some ideas because I heard you mention Morgan Wallen earlier.
So out in Arizona, I was a big I like going on my hikes. I'm a very big outdoorsy person. I enjoy my time skiing when I am up in Minnesota. I've always been a ski
Oh,
guy,
you're a
especially ever since
skier.
I've moved. Yep, ever since I moved to Minnesota when I was 6. And then we also do have we have Flagstaff up in Arizona, which is about a 2-hour drive from me. I went up there a few times. I love spending my time outdoors. Love spending my time at the gym trying to better myself, better my health. Um, I like spending money by looking for flight deals and good cruise deals as well. That's I like spending my money on cruises. And lastly, I'd say reading your Bible.
Sounds like all fulfilling me time activities. What are you listening to right now in terms of music or podcasts or audiobooks or some combination of all three?
Yeah, so I'm a big R&B guy. Love the R&B space. I love rock as well. Like I love some good old Guns N' Roses. Love the throwbacks for those like Metallica, Michael Jackson, Elvis. Well, honestly, big Prince guy, especially being from Minnesota. Love Prince. And I do dabble in my country with Zach Bryan, Morgan Wallen, like I said, but not too much. Then I don't think you're gonna know who this guy is, Paul, yet, but I'm a big Don Tolliver guy or a Future guy.
Yeah,
They're
I
rappers.
I know who Don Tolliver and Future are. You sound like you have a very diverse taste in music.
My playlist would make people turn heads and say, "How are these on the same playlist together?"
Right, right. Yeah, when you say Future and Morgan Wallen, I would say the same thing.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited. I'm trying to see Future soon live as well. And then Don Tolliver is going on tour this summer, so I'm gonna get tickets for that.
What is the last live performance you experienced?
Are we talking concert or are we talking athletics?
It could be anything other than on the cruise ship. We
Other than
know
on cruise ships.
there's great live performances on cruise ships. What great live performance have you attended?
I went to a Wolves game, big Anthony Edwards guy, big Wolves guy. If you call that a performance, other than sports, I think my last concert, what would have been my last concert? I think my last concert, it wouldn't have been Green Day. I think my last concert was Zach Bryan, actually.
How about television and movies? Anything to turn my listeners on to?
I'm a big below deck guy, like you mentioned. When I read that question earlier, then you already threw that in there. I was like, well, there's that curveball. But I'm a big below deck guy. I haven't watched the new season yet. I've been really behind, especially just with school and other stuff I have going on in my life, moving back home and whatnot, and some family stuff. But um, that's really. I'm a big SNL guy as well. Whenever SNL season is over, I'm really sad. But my guy Colin Jost, he needs a break once in a while though. So that's I would say SNL is probably one of my favorite shows.
Have you seen? Do you watch Netflix movies?
I dabble.
Have you heard of Amy Bradley? Whatever happened to Amy Bradley?
Amy Radley. Is it a documentary?
Yeah, yeah. You want to watch that? It's not great, to be honest, but a lot of cruise fans watch it because it's all about cruising. It's a woman who disappears on a cruise, and the audience is kind of split between whether or not she went overboard or there's been an attempt to portray her as possibly being sex trafficked in the islands. So and of course it's based on true story. So yeah,
I'll give that a watch for sure.
yeah, it's a lot of cruise fans have watched.
The one thing I never watched was, even though some of my friends were actually featured on the show, I never watched the Poop Cruise.
Wasn't that now you wasn't the Sunshine once an iteration of the Poop Cruise?
No, so it was the Carnival Tramp, which is now turned into Carnival Sunrise
Okay, okay.
because it goes out of LA.
Sunrise, not
People think it was the Sunshine because the Sunshine was renamed, but I can't remember exactly why they renamed it. I think it did have to do with the incident, but I don't think it was as big of an incident as Tramp going out for 4.5 days.
yeah, yeah. I'm confusing it with the Sunrise.
Yeah, I have been on a cruise ship when it's blacked out.
hmm
That's been
Now,
interesting.
now I have been on Triumph, but of course not when it went through that disaster.
I I did meet someone. I can't remember where. I know it was on a cruise, but I did meet someone that actually was on that cruise itself,
Oh wow.
we talked for like 2.5, 3 hours about it.
hmm Okay. Last question. Oh, there's another, and I haven't seen this one, but it's on my list because there's another cruising type of show on Netflix, but it's about cruising on a yacht. So that's kind of in line with what you're getting ready to get into.
Yes, sir.
So again, and I haven't seen it yet. I don't remember the title, but I remember that cabin number 10 is in the title. So,
Cabin number 10.
yep, cabin 10. Or what happened with cabin 10 or something like that. Okay, last question to get to know you better, Colin. What's your favorite movie of all time? And for some reason, I think I can guess it, but I don't know why I think I can guess it. But tell us, what is your favorite movie of all time?
If you think it's the Titanic, it's not that.
Nope.
I've
Nope.
never seen, fun fact, I have never seen the Titanic.
Yeah, Titanic is okay.
And
It was
I
more.
refuse
It
I
was
refuse
more
to
of a
watch it.
love. It was more of a love story, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I would like to see a really, really well done, comprehensive uh, uh, documentary about the Titanic.
Oh, same.
But the movie was very romanticized. It was good, but no, that's not what I was going to guess. So what is it?
I'm gonna say well, that's a show. I'm gonna say probably Ted. I like Ted. I don't know if you
Ted?
heard that one with
Oh
Mark
yeah, oh
Wahlberg
yeah,
and
yeah,
the
yeah.
teddy bear.
I'm a movie guy. Uh,
Yep.
I used to own before your time. You probably people in your generation say, "What's he talking about?" I used to own a chain of video stores.
I know what video stores. You own video stores?
Yeah, I own a chain.
I'm a videography guy. That's sick. I didn't even
Yeah,
know that. That's
yeah,
awesome. That's so
yeah.
cool.
I had as many as 4 stores, and I used to literally watch a new release, not every night, but almost every night.
That's I didn't know that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
cool.
The movie I thought you were going to say, and I'm not even sure why I thought that. But Back to the Future.
I didn't even consider that one. I didn't even think about that one. Back to the Future is good. I've seen it twice. I'll say I'm not a big movie guy because I didn't in my high school years, middle school years, I just didn't have time because I was always working. But now, especially recently, I've been wanting to get into movies. But the thing is there's so many classic movies. I don't know where to start. So now I guess I know the guy to talk to.
Well, Colin, it has been great to reconnect virtually. Thank you for coming on the Joy of Cruising podcast. All the best in your journey to becoming a cruise director. And I feel like, I've had you on twice, and that has been the main theme is becoming a cruise director. So I want to be, well, I don't want to say the first to know. You're probably going to tell your parents or your best friends or whatever. But I want to know very quickly when you get hired, not even as a cruise, I mean, when you get hired on the ship.
Yeah.
And soon as you get hired on the ship, I'd like to have you back on, but I know that some people I talk to who are on ships, it's very hard for them to get permission to
Hmm.
talk. I have someone coming up either right before your show or right after your show. She works on a small river cruise line,
American
and
Cruise Lines.
no, it's not. I can't remember the name offhand, but so I do get people who come on who currently work on ships, but I know that there's a lot of restrictions. So it
Yeah.
depends on the job you get. But all the best to you, Colin, in your pursuit, and I'm confident that you will be successful.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. And I promise you, when I get on a cruise ship, this whole world's gonna know. I promise you that.
All
There's no
righty.
doubt about it, that one, and you will be one of the first to know for sure.
Well, as I like to say, we'll see you on the ocean.
The Joy of Cruising and Cruising Interrupted, each $16.99 plus shipping, and new release, The Joy of Cruising Again for $18.99 can be ordered at the link on thejoyofcruisingpodcast.com. For each of the three books, use the discount code Joy of Cruising Podcast and get $4 off. The Joy of Cruising books are also available at Amazon. Order the ebook at Amazon or your favorite online retailer. Stay in touch by joining the Joy of Cruising Podcast Facebook group or following the Joy of Cruising Podcast on Instagram. We're constantly adding new shows. Please leave a review and tell a friend about us. We hope you enjoyed this brief escape to the ocean. See you next week.